Welcome. Let's welcome our very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only Sophie Ellis-Bextor. Yeah, the crowd go wild. Sophie, how are you?
I'm not too bad, how are you?
Yeah, really good, really good. This is actually quite a joy and a privilege for me to be sat at Radio 2 talking to yourself, celebrating the fact that you've just launched or you've recently released a greatest hits album.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's funny, actually, because I wasn't expecting to do it. But last year was such a different shape to the one I predicted. And we found ourselves during lockdown starting doing these gigs from our kitchen. We called them the kitchen discos, and we're coming up to a year of doing them. And I've been singing lots of old singles and songs and covers. So yeah, the album is a celebration of the singles and also some of the covers I've been doing. So there's a bit of Julie Andrews, a bit of Pulp, a bit of New Order in there.
But let's be honest, a kitchen disco is something that we've all done, we've all attempted, but you guys have done it better than most. I'll be honest with you. You know, the fact that you do
I'm
have...
not sure that's true.
Well, you do have... Come on, Sophie, let's not beat around the bush. You've got a beautiful singing voice, and when it's live, it's something else. It's something special. Because I remember... Do you remember back in the day, you and I did a magazine article many moons ago before our careers started, and we actually did a photo shoot together, and it was like Sophie Ellis-Bextor, rising star of the future, and they were right. They were correct.
I do remember that shoot. I mean, we've had some lovely times together. One of the favourite things I've ever done, actually, was Family Fortunes that I did with you as well.
Well, our survey says
that.
It's always good fun. It's always good fun.
It's
Family
brilliant.
Fortunes. So, did you and Richard sit down and say, look, let's do a kitchen disco just to cheer the nation up? Or were you quite selfish and thought, let's just cheer ourselves up? How did it work? Did it work that way or did it work the other way?
So basically, Richard suggested it at the beginning, and I thought he was a bit crazy, really, because at the time, we'd got 5 kids, which is a lot anyway, and our youngest was only 14 months, so he was like crawling around the floor. But I think, we were all thrown into such a peculiar situation, weren't we? We just thought, well, it's a good distraction and it's a bit of fun. Oh, I thought people were probably going to make fun of me. And then we ended up really loving it, and we thought, let's just keep going. And it's nice. It feels like we formed a bit of a community with it, really. That's what I feel like. I feel very protective of the people that come around.
And it must be weird because obviously you guys collectively, yourself and Richard, have done so many gigs together, but actually you're now doing a gig in your kitchen in front of your 5 boys with the nation watching. Is it a weird feeling knowing that you're performing in such an intimate setting, but yet obviously through the joy of social media and Tinternet, it's going out to millions or hundreds of thousands of people?
You know what? It is completely surreal. At one point, halfway through, I've got a guy called Chris Salmon who helps me with social media bits. I'm not very techie, and he said, it's reaching somewhere around 38 million people. Oh, and I had to tell him to be quiet because it was so many. It's like too abstract. Like,
Sophie,
what on earth does that mean?
You've got to say that number slowly so that we can all take it in. Just drop that one again, please.
Well, I think what he means is that at some point, about 38 million people have somehow come into contact with my kitchen.
Yes. There you go.
Too weird, right?
Hey, let me ask you this. All right. So you know now that 38 million people are going to take a little beady eye into your kitchen and have a little goose and a gander. Before you and Richard press go live, do you have a tidy up? Do you have a kitchen dress down? Do you kind of make sure that the bread maker is all dusted and clean and spick and span? Do you mop the floor and all that kind of stuff? Do you prepare the kitchen before the nation and the rest of the world have a nosy?
Oh, you know what? It's so abstract that I can't make that mean anything. So no, we probably should, but no, we don't, because it doesn't. What does that even mean anyway? Like, I can't picture it. So no, we kind of kept it very similar to the way we started it. Really, it's pretty loose. We normally decide the songs, and matter of hours beforehand. We've got another one coming up on Friday. And, as soon as we've got a plan for, getting kids back to school and some sort of normality, we'll wind it up. We're not going to do it forever. But I've just been so grateful for it, really, because it's been such a good tonic when everything's been quite heavy. It's just been a nice way to let off some steam, sing some songs, have a bit of a silliness, really. Yeah,
I can imagine, because everyone that I mentioned you were coming on the show to, they were like, oh, kitchen disco, love it. Everyone has dropped in. Everyone's seen your kitchen, and everyone has seen you guys performing. But let's talk about the fact that it's 21 years 21 years since you got the number one spot with Spiller and Groove Jet. That is still an iconic dance record.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I suppose it's hard for me to be objective, but I am definitely still very happy to sing it. And I love the fact that people have got happy memories associated with that song. But yeah, 21 years, that's a long time, isn't it, to be singing the same song?
It really is. It really. And did you, I know this is an obvious question, but did you expect back then that this tune would still be as prominent and still be as successful as it was then, 21 years down the line?
Oh, my goodness. No, not a clue. I'm absolutely rubbish at that game anyway. I never know which of my songs is going to do what. But also, I think at the time, when it first came out, it was released on the same day as Victoria Beckham, and there was this really big hoo-ha about whether or not our song or Victoria Beckham's song would be number one. And I felt like it was so distracting. I don't think I had a chance to think about whether it would be played the next year or the year after. It was just about, trying to remember to have fun and enjoy whatever's happening in the song at the time. But it's only really now that I can go, golly, actually, the fact that people still like hearing it after 20 years is a really special thing. It doesn't happen to every song. So I'm very happy to be associated with it.
I personally think it's one of those songs that throws you straight back to when it was released. That's the power of Groove Jet. As soon as you hear it, you go straight back to the moment you first heard it, be it on the radio or in a nightclub. Let me just quickly ask you, on the new songs from the Kitchen Disco, the greatest hits, what's your favourite? Which one on there stands out the most for you?
Oh, well, I guess in terms of my songs, there's one called Youngblood, which is a love song that I wrote for my fifth album, Wanderlust, which was just a really nice departure for me. It's probably the most honest song I've ever written. But in terms of the songs on the album, actually, I think my favourite's probably the Julie Andrews cover that I did, because like you said about music being a way to take you back to wherever you were when you first heard it, I mean, that's kind of how I've been choosing the covers we've been doing during the discos, but also just music generally, how it's kind of helped me in the last year. So for everybody, I think if you've got a song you've always loved, like maybe something from when you're a kid, like put it on loud and proud, and it's such a clever way to transport you to somewhere happy. It's such a powerful thing, music.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah. Just quickly, before we say goodbye, how has homeschooling been with your 5 boys? And Richard.
Firstly, I think they should be calling it emergency education. Homeschooling sounds really like wholesome and like a choice and like really positive. Emergency education is really what we're all grappling with here. And you know what? It's been okay. We've had good days and bad days, but I think collectively it feels like parents are just better at now accepting that it's not always going to work. I think kids generally have been pretty good, haven't they? Blimey, I would have been rubbish. I would have been like, I'm not doing my online schooling. I'd have probably been climbing out of drain pipes, to be honest.
Sophie, trust me, I would have counted so many butterflies, imaginary butterflies, in my bedroom if I was homeschooling like our kids are. I'd have been away with the fairies, honest. I'd have been dreadful, too. Absolutely dreadful. Sophie, it's always a pleasure to chat, to just to reminisce, I guess. Thanks for coming on, really appreciate it. So,
lovely to hear your voice.
It's out now. Songs from the Kitchen Disco, Sophie Ellis-Bextor's greatest hits. Give it a download and do however you get your music. There are so many different ways these days. I mean, subscribe, whatever, download, get it. You can vinyl's back.
Yeah.
Get it on vinyl. There you go. Sophie, thank you so much.
I love it to talk to you as ever, Vernon.
And take care. Bye.